G'day guys, welcome to episode 45 of Beyond the Finish Line podcast, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance and every goal. My name is Matt, aka Coach Matt. I'm a multiple-time Ironman and ultra-marathon runner. I'm also the head coach and founder of the Performance Project, which is Australia's fastest growing endurance community. Joining me today is the other half of everything I just mentioned. She's the other half of the Performance Project. She's the other half of this podcast. She's also a marathon runner and soon to be triathlete and the fastest marathon runner on this podcast.
Yeah, I am.
Georgia, how you doing, my darling?
I'm well, thank you, Coach Matt. I'm feeling good today. I'm, having a great old time sitting here listening to you rattle that off perfectly. Love that.
One of us is, after 45 episodes, surely one of us can nail an intro.
I know. Look, it won't be me. Don't expect anything to change.
No, you handle the listener questions. I handle the intros.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Although, funny story today, one of our athletes in the chat was saying that she was playing the podcast that we just did, episode 44, loud on a bus by accident. And I was like, please don't tell me it was the one where I fucked up the intro. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, that's everyone I do. So yeah. Really. Anyway, but yeah, I'm feeling good. It's I had a great weekend and it's a Monday. So it means I'm going swimming after this, which I'm really excited for.
How's triathlete life?
Triathlete life is still, I'm getting there. There. It's, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Earlier wake ups, which is hard because it's always 2 sessions in the morning now. And yeah, I feel like this is almost harder than marathon training, but I don't know if that's just because I'm so used to marathon training.
It's just new.
Yeah, it's new. So yeah, loving the pool, loving my rides, still trying to get my head around all of that. But yeah, I promise to be back into the swing of things this week. So hopefully I get a good solid week out this week of training.
Yeah, awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I find every time you try something new, it just feels like the hardest thing in the world. Like,
yeah,
it just, I know you start a new job and you're like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I don't know anything. Or you try and do something like you do something new at school, like you're learning something new, whatever. It's just like, I'm never going to work this out. And then eventually just you adapt.
Yeah, that's so true. And it definitely feels like that at the moment. It feels like something completely foreign to me. So I have felt a little bit like a failure the last couple of weeks trying to adjust to this new program, which is fine. I've actually jumped across, guys, to one of our other coaches, Ant. He is an amazing coach and he's learning everything that Matt does. And so I've jumped across to him recently and I'm really enjoying a different style of coaching. Which it's really not too different to your coaching, Matt, but it's nice to, have someone else asking questions and it's not the same old. So, I'm liking
Well,
that.
I mean, the real truth is like Ant's our newest coach at the Performance Project, and I had to send a spy in to make sure he was doing a good job, and Georgia infiltrated. So if he fucks up, Georgia will be like, you won't believe what he just did.
And if you're listening, I'm not. I swear, I'm really.
I didn't tell Georgia that. That's just my plan.
Yeah, no, honestly, he's been really amazing and he's, asking lots of questions and asking lots of feedback, which is really good. And you always want that in a coach, someone who's really keen to learn and keen to improve instead of kind of just coming in and being like, I know everything. So that's really good. I think he and I are both learning it at the same time. He's learning how to coach me and I'm learning how to be a triathlete. So that's fun. But my husband, Nick, just signed up to the triathlon that I'm doing, which is wonderful because that means I can train with him. So, yeah, things are on the up. But, yeah, other than being extremely tired, I've got no lows this week. All of my highs are outweighing the lows. So that's a nice change from last week. But how are you, Coach Matt? How's things going for you? It is, 6 days away from Kosci or 5?
5. We race on Friday. So when people are listening to this, it'll be 2 days.
2 days on Wednesday when you guys hear this. So how are you feeling?
Right as rain, mate. Like I don't really think about, you'll notice anyone who's listened to like the Cairns Ironman podcast or anything, like I don't really think about the race until sort of 24, 48 hours before. So right now it is just, it's pretty chill. I got so many other things. I got other athletes racing. I got heaps of shit going on with work, like with the Performance Project. So it's just, I got enough things to keep my brain occupied. I don't have to worry about running 100 Ks.
It's probably why you thrive so much in the job that you do because, you can keep your brain occupied. You're doing, certain things with your athletes while doing your own thing, while
Mm.
also, programming and all that sort of stuff. So it'll be great for you, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, we're starting to get ready for 2026, and like, there are so many moving parts going on. Like, honestly, the race is, and that's kind of why I picked this race, was like a race that I didn't have to think about.
Uh-huh.
It's not like Ironman where I'm just like complete psycho. Um, yeah, so it's good. Like, it's exactly what I wanted. So no complaints there. And just got to get down to Jindy, fit and healthy, and make sure I don't forget my shoes, and we're good to go.
Touch wood, touch wood. And so, okay, so you've got the 100 kilometers to do. What
hmm
has been your peak mileage week so far? I know you're obviously now not in a peak week or anything, but what was the biggest week that you did?
I think I did 117 kilometers.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think what's more impressive, at least for myself, is I did 4 100+ kilometer weeks, like back to back to back to back.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that, I feel like that's more impressive than just the one really big week.
Yeah, I get that. Like, it's
Yeah.
when I was doing my marathon training, I was so impressed that I could do, like, I don't know, it was like 8 weeks at 30 plus kilometers every Sunday. So I know what
hmm
you mean.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
good way to look at things, is not just focus on one thing, focus on the entire block. So
Yeah, I think, and also when we talk about endurance sports, like when you first start, like running your first 50 or 60 kilometer week is awesome, and your first 30K long run is awesome. But then as you progress, those things become less and less, I don't want to say impressive, but like more normal, more like this is just a compulsory part of what I want to do. So then naturally the goals become bigger, or the achievements become bigger, and you got to find different metrics. So I think consistency over a long period of time is a good metric to judge things by.
oh, totally. And as we always say, consistency is the key when you're training for things like this.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think for a big race like 100 Ks, you really have to be consistent with your week on weeks, just like stacking the time and stacking the kilometers. And I've definitely seen a few people online who have been training quite differently to what you're doing now. So
It is
yeah.
interesting. I'll say that is the most interesting thing from a coach's perspective, is seeing the vastly, vastly different approaches to the 100 kilometer and 100-mile distance. When we talk about Ironman, it's pretty similar. Like, there's not a huge deviation, even from elites to beginners. Like, it just really is just intensity and volume. But
Yeah.
like, there are guys who train 50 to 60 kilometers a week, and they're going to run 100 miles, and they feel 100% confident, right as rain, good to go. And I've run 100-kilometer weeks and 85 plus kilometer weeks for probably 8 or 9 weeks. And I'm like, I don't know if I've done enough volume. So it's just like, it's so bizarre, the different theories and techniques out there. And it's like, in America, they've really started to dial in the 100K distance, in terms of like, they feel like they've got it nailed.
Right.
And they're pulling out some really, really impressive times. But I'm not sure if it's just that information hasn't made it to Australia. Maybe we've got different tactics because of different altitudes. Not 100% sure yet, but it just doesn't feel like we're as dialed in as what maybe the Yanks are at the moment.
Do you think America is bigger in the trail running space than we are here in Australia?
Massively.
Yeah.
In America, it is huge. Like,
Yeah.
race, like they've got the 200 milers, the 300 milers, they've got races in all the different states. Like, they've got the most historic races with like Leadville and the Canyon race, and
Yeah.
um uh Bigfoot 200, Moab 240. Yeah, they've got it's a completely different world of it. I would say it's not even just because of they've got a bigger population, but it is just significantly more in the zeitgeist, like in terms of social media. Trail runners are like mainstream athletes over there, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also, yeah, lots of influences in that space over that way.
Mm.
There's actually some big topics happening around, the influencer space in America at the moment, and especially with it's a bit off topic at the moment, but I was just thinking about it, especially with did you see at the start of New York Marathon? You probably didn't. They let like a bunch of influencers run before the elites.
No.
Oh, it's so all of these girls who are big in the trail running space and also road running were like they were able to run. It was like the MasterCard. I don't know what they call it, but it's with MasterCard. And they could run this certain part of New York Marathon before any of the elites. So then all of like
So they could get
Kipchoge's,
content.
Yeah, and then kept choking. Everyone just like overtook them. And everyone's just talking about how these, like, especially these big trail runners and stuff, how
Mm.
these girls are getting like places ahead of elites and stuff like that. And it's just such an interesting space that's happening at the moment. But is there like really big influences in the trail running space? Because it
Mm.
doesn't come up on my feed, so I don't see any of them.
Yeah, there definitely is. I find trail running's kind of interesting in that way where like I find a lot of the pros who don't necessarily put a lot of effort into content turn into the influencers. Um, whereas like the other, I guess, influencers like other hybrid athletes who are like doing high rocks and then doing 100 miler, like that's like their shtick. So I there are, but I don't know how many just like pure trail running influencers they are. I feel like trail running's got this really good, at least in the American market, this really good blend of like the pros are getting their recognition, and then also there's like a dabble of influencer.
Okay, very good.
It's just a
Well,
different market.
yeah, it is. It is a different market. I just was curious because I don't see them. So I don't
Mm.
know if there is that kind of thing or if it's a totally different thing where it's just not as popular. So there aren't really influencers in that space.
Mm.
But I'm curious to know what you've learnt in this training block for Kosci 100. If, maybe there's some takeaways that you've got for everyone listening. If they're a seasoned trail runner and they're wanting to do the Kosci 100 next year,
Hmm.
is there anything you've learnt in this training block?
Um, it's a good question. I I don't know if there's anything like necessarily sports specific. I think it's just more like time on feet over everything else. Like, don't
Yeah.
get hung up on your distance. Don't get hung up on whether you feel good or feel bad or how well you're running. It's just like, if you said you're going to go run for 5 hours, like, I don't care if you hike for 5 hours. I don't care if you run flat out for 5 hours. Like, just time on feet above all else, and then sport specificity. So, getting in the hills, using the poles, running with a full pack, running in your race shoes, testing out different shoes, nutrition strategies, like learning how to run while like eating a cup of noodles, very valuable skill. Um,
Oh,
um, like things like that. So I'd say it's more sport specific rather than like say overarching
wha-
coaching philosophies.
yeah.
Um, they are, and then I would say it's probably only relevant for COSI. Like say if you would talk about UTA, it's a lot of stairs and things, so I would probably change the training for that, and then I would probably have a different takeaway. But I think for the most part, it is just time on feet and sport specificity, being as specific as possible. Like going down to COSI and actually running the course over 3 days, invaluable. Like that completely changed my perspective and my confidence level going into the race. So yeah, a few big takeaways.
Did you find that running the course made you feel more confident, or did that make you nervous because there was snow? Was there anything there that kind of was different to what you expected?
I'd say leaving more confident, during very anxiety filled.
Okay.
Like dealing with the weather. People, I liken it to like Melbourne on steroids. Like you get 4 seasons in an hour, like just
Yeah.
wild. Having gone through all of that, come out and been like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Like I feel like we got asked to leave. Like we got the national parks ranger was like driving up and down Mount Kosciuszko along the road, being like, "Hey guys, this storm's gonna be really bad, dangerous weather. You've got to get off the mountain. We're driving people down if you want to get down." I was like, I feel like it's not going to get much worse than that on the race. Like if we get asked to like stop, um, like that's happened 2 or 3 years ago. They stopped the race mid race. Everyone had to stop at the aid station and wait for the storm
The
to pass
storm.
through.
My
Yeah,
friend ran that race. I remember that
yeah.
very clearly. It was late too when that
Yeah.
happened.
It was like 10 o'clock at night or something
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
the sun was down. Anyway, um, so I feel like if that's the worst that I go through, then like, I've seen it. Like snow wasn't that bad to run on. The hills aren't that bad. Like it's no different to any other trail race. Just got to be okay with the weather. So I feel overall, yeah, really, really confident.
That's good. And is
Mm,
that how you're feeling going into race day? Like, I know you said you're not going to really think about it until a couple of days prior.
mm,
When you're getting down to Kosci, how are you feeling? Like, I know you've got to actually get there before you feel these things, but you know what you're like coming into a race day.
mm.
What do you think? How do you think you'll be feeling when you get down there?
I always feel like this is the worst time for me where I feel like I'm like a prisoner. I just can't I'm stuck in this weird limbo where I can't get to the race. I can't make it come any quicker. There's nothing I can do to affect the race positively. Everything I do can only have a negative effect. So I'm just like, I've just got to not fuck around and sort of keep focused. And then as I get closer and closer to the race, I just get more and more confident. I just feel like every single day, I just like, all right, like I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And then that confidence grows and grows and grows inside me. And then like on the race day, I'm just like, oh, it's go time. Like I'm so ready for this. I've been waiting for this. So I don't really get nervous for races anymore. I get excited. I'm just like, I get to go out and put all of that hard work on show. And whether that goes good or bad, like I mean, there's a part of me that cares, but I don't really care. It's just like, that's what endurance sports. I feel like I've done enough endurance events now to know if you have a bad day, you have a bad day. It doesn't define me. It doesn't define you as an athlete. It doesn't define the training you did or the hard work or the people that support you. It's just is what it is. So I'm very at peace with that. I'm very at peace with the amount of work I've done for any endurance event. And I just feel super confident and excited when I get to the start line, whether that's an Ironman, a local park run, or a 100K ultra. Like, it doesn't really affect me.
And I know you touched on this being like that, that's just because you've done a lot of these races. Is there kind of, for people who are really nervous come race day, or like even in the week leading up to race day, I know a lot of people get quite nervous with these things and they can't train, they can't think, they can't do anything. Do you think that gets better, or is that just maybe that's like each person is different?
I wouldn't say the emotion changes. I think and I've said this with different things, you just get better at dealing with them. So like, for example, a threshold run or a VO2 run or a 36-kilometer peak week marathon run doesn't get any easier. You just understand how to deal it better. You understand that, okay, this 10K block's going to end, or this 2-minute flat out interval is going to end. You just understand that better and you understand how to deal with it. I feel like it's very much the same. So like, people who get nervous naturally, maybe they have a higher anxiety level or things like that, you'll probably always feel some level of that. You just are better at dealing with it and better at understanding it. So actually, and this, I don't know if this is a good thing or not. I read this, actually, no, I heard it in a podcast with a sports psychiatrist, sports therapist. What are they called?
Sports psychologist,
maybe, whoever it was.
Yeah.
They said that excitement and anxiety / nervousness is actually the same emotion. It's your level of, I'm going to try and get this right. It's your level of psychopathy. So the way you sit on the scale of being a psychopath. So obviously full psychopath is like you don't feel anything, and then zero psychopath is you feel everything. Based on where you sit on the scale is how you process it. So if you feel nervous energy as excitement, you are higher on the psychopathy spectrum, versus if you feel nervous, you are on the lower end of it. So and according to this fellow, whether he's right or not, I don't know, but you can't really change that. You just get better at dealing with it. So
I like the theory behind it. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know if that's how true that is. We'd have to look it up. But I like what they're talking about with, it just depends on how good you are at like dealing with your own emotions and knowing what triggers you and things that help you to relax and stuff like that. So I totally get that. Because, if you're just very good at just like completely having zero emotion, then obviously that you're at that other end of the scale compared to someone who feels the emotions, knows how to deal with the emotions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I would say there's not one better than the other. Obviously, in coaching, I have coached the whole spectrum of people. And even Georgia, you're a great example. The first race I coached you, Gold Coast Marathon, you were a nervous wreck beforehand. And Sydney Marathon, you were like the most recent one, cool as can be. Like you still had nervous energy, but you were just way better at controlling it.
Yeah.
So like, I would say there isn't one better than the other. You just get better at utilizing what works for you.
Yeah, definitely. And you are right. The difference between Gold Coast Marathon, which is my second ever marathon, with my fifth ever marathon, that's definitely just experience and learning how to, get up at the right time, and you're not rushing. So you're taking time to get to the race so that I know that if I was running late, that would add another level of nerves. So I don't allow myself to get there, and, making sure I'm eating the breakfast that makes me feel good. Because then if I've eaten something that upsets my stomach, that's another level of nervousness. So yeah, there's different ways that you can deal with it personally. And you guys can take what we say and use that as well in your training and stuff. But I'm curious with the Kosci 100, are there like events and stuff in the lead up to it in Jindy? Like, is there any kind of shakeout runs, or is there an expo? How does it all work?
You know what? This is my first UT or UTK event, but just the UT Ultra Trail Australia Ultra Trail brand.
Yeah.
The company that owns Ironman owns that as well. So if anything to go by, I would assume there is some form of expo. In terms of shakeout run, Ironman doesn't really do a shakeout run, so I don't think there would be one for UTK. So I would probably say not, but I imagine there'll be some form of expo or whatever. I know the trail running community, while it's very inclusive, it's very like it's very Lone Ranger, like
fend for yourself.
not even fend for yourself. Just like I think it takes a special. I don't even mean special, like. Takes just a different sort of cat to want to be like out in the mountains for 18 hours by themselves, like, and they're very happy like not to talk to anyone for that period of time and just run and like have no headphones and just run. So it's very like Lone Ranger, lone wolf kind of vibe. So while everyone's cool to have a beer afterwards, or if you see someone out there and they're having a hard time, like you would talk to them and help them out. I think the majority of us are very, very happy just like blinkers on and sort of doing our own thing.
Yeah, I get that. I get a shakeout run probably wouldn't be very helpful for people that enjoy being alone. They're kind of like, that's actually stressful for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's kind of, I mean, I'm sure there is obviously the full spectrum of people who attend these events. I just feel like that is the vibe of the community. I feel like the majority of people would be like that. I actually feel like people like you, Georgia, would be the outlier, whereas in road running, you are the norm.
Yeah, I do feel like I would be searching for other people to be around before the race, because I'd be like, I need to like bounce off people. But I guess it would be the brands doing the shakeout runs, like a Solomon or a Hoka or something like that, who are heading down there with their team to kind of get everyone hyped up. But I can see why they probably wouldn't.
And I don't even know why. I don't even know what the sort of setup is. This is how little amount of research I've done, because Kosci is obviously like everyone pretty much stays in Jindy, and there's limited snow-based like the snow lodges accommodation at Perisher / Threadbow, where the race sort of is. So the overwhelming majority of people are staying in Jindy. That's like half an hour drive from Perisher, and I don't know how many people would like. If the expo would be at Perisher, I don't know how many people would drive up for that versus like staying down in Jindy. Like I feel like most people, like with the brands, I don't know where they would run the activations if they were doing it, and I don't even know like how active they are with these races. So I will inform everyone post race about how they went. But yeah,
I know. I'm so interested in your recap when we do that next week after Kosci. I can't wait to hear all about it.
It's kind of weird to say. That's weird to say, but like next week I'm doing the recap. I'm like, oh fuck, it is.
I know, it's going to go quick. I mean, gosh, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be a couple of days away. So is there a way everyone can track you on your race? When is it? Friday?
Friday, yeah. I'll post it on my Instagram and do Beyond the Finish Line Instagram. There's can't remember if it's the UTA app or there is a UTK specific app, but it's one of them. I'll post it.
Cool. We can track you in the mountains for, what'd you say, 18 hours?
Oh, it won't take me 18 hours, but I mean, if it takes me 18 hours, something's gone really, really wrong. I'm hoping to do it in under 15, like comfortably under 15. Yeah. Right, 15 is my like just everything went good. It wasn't a great run. It was just everything went good.
Okay. And so what time does it start? Is it in the morning or is it like an afternoon thing?
7:30 it kicks off.
Cool. So we can keep track of you while we're all at work.
Yeah. And then I should finish, around midnight.
Oh.
Thanks, Georgia. I really needed that.
No, I love that for you. I'm very happy for you. Don't get me wrong. That is your sport. I love that. It just freaks me out. Running in the mountains in the dark. No thanks.
I couldn't even any better.
Yeah, see, I'd just be like Final Destination shit happening in my head. Some tree comes down.
Did I tell you the story about what happened when I went up there for training camp?
Oh, do I want to know? Nah, tell me. You didn't tell me.
It'll probably freak you out, but that's all right.
Wait, is this going to be another one of those marathon stories where you tell the same story and then we realize you've actually told it?
Well, I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember if I've told you. I definitely haven't told you on the podcast.
Okay, well then tell everyone. I'm sure everyone would like to hear this.
Okay. So the first day I got to Perisher, we didn't get there till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I was just itching to run. So I put my shoes on like while we were driving and just like went straight out. Parked the car, didn't even unpack. It was just gone. See you later, Sam. I'm going.
Yeah.
Anyway, the way I didn't know the course at all. I just had it uploaded to my watch and I was just running, and I knew I'd run into the night. Anyway, we get to one of the last checkpoints on the top loop. It's called Guthica. And I looked at the map, and from Guthica to back to Perisher, it looked like it was all dirt road / fire trail. So just basically dirt road the whole way. I was like, you beauty. Put my head torch on, everything. Sun was just going down. I'm heading off. Anyway, running along, and then sun starts to go down, starts to get real dark, sort of coming to the end of this fire trail. I can't really see where to go. And the fire trail goes up and to the left. I'm like, okay, we'll go up there. Watch says hooker right. And I'm like, okay. Super sketchy. Look, and it is just pitch black bush. Like there is no trail. There is no nothing. I'm like, all right, here we go. Anyway, I start hiking up this thing, which I went through the next day. It was a obviously it's a ski slope, but it is like an absolute cliff edge, like just so steep.
It's like a black run.
It legit was.
Yeah.
Anyway, I start to come up to this crest, and I just see all of these like little red dots. So it's animals' eyes reflecting off my head torch. Anyway, I just sort of like yell out, and I was like, "Oi!" And they all took off. So they're just deer. And I was like, "Okay, no worries." Anyway, get up to the top of this crest, and there's a sign that says "feral shooting." So they had hunters out there. The time was first thing in the morning. It was like from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. or something. I was out there like 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. And then I just hear crack. And I was like, what the fuck was that? It was a rifle shot in the valley next to me. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm going to get shot while I'm out. Like, they're going to think my head torch is a deer eye or something. I'm going to get fucking shot. So anyway, I start... I had 2 head torches, so I put the head torch on the front, head torch on the back, so I would have looked ridiculous. But I'm hiking up this hill, and then heard another rifle shot. This one sounded closer, and I was like, oh, fuck me. So then hike and start trying to run up this cliff, and eventually make it over the crest onto this dirt road. And I could see where the boys were parked up, where they were shooting. They'd gone down in the next valley. But talk about a stressful 20 minutes. I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to get attacked by deer and then shot. This is awesome.
Oh my gosh. My heart is like beating so hard right now. My heart rate's over 100.
It was an intense like 40 minutes for sure.
Could you not like yell out and be like, I'm here, like don't shoot?
Well, I could tell they're in the next valley, but it was just like... just the way the sound came over. I've been around rifles enough growing up, but it was just like freak because you couldn't see anything. Like, when it's that dark and you got the head torch on, you can only see what's in front of you. You can't, even when you look up, it's just black. So I couldn't see where the road was. I couldn't see how tall this hill was. I couldn't see anything. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, like this is, what situation have I got myself into? And I couldn't turn around because it was too long to go back. And I also had 3% phone battery at this point, so I couldn't call Sam to come pick me up to be like, hey, can you pick me up back at Guthica? I was just like in the middle of nowhere, just like I've got to get back to Perisher and hope for the best.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? How does Samantha deal with this? Because that would stress me the fuck out.
Oh, she just knows to let me go, mate. I'm like a Labrador. You just got to let me run.
You're like a pigeon. You'll always come back.
To be fair, the amount of time I've spent in the bush, I've never been lost, even from a young age.
Touch wood, please.
Yeah. I've gone on like big hikes and everything as a young fella, just like disappeared and been like, oh, I'll make it back.
Oh gosh, when we were growing up, we have a place in Jindy, so we used to always ski at Perisher. And when my brother was little, my parents took him on this ski with some friends, and out of nowhere, like he was probably only 6 or 7, and we could all ski quite well as young kids. You know, they chuck you in the Milo stuff, so
Mhm.
you're always quite good. But he literally just disappeared. Like completely disappeared off the track. No one could find him. And they were so stressed. Like no one could, they're sending out all these signals being like, our child is missing in Perisher. And then they got back to the house because they were like, what if he kind of went back and found someone and said, this is where I'm staying? And then literally like 10 minutes later, he comes rolling down this hill, like absolutely bawling his eyes out
Oh,
because he
bawling.
got lost when he was out there. And ever since then, I'm so frightened of being like lost in places like that because I think I was traumatized by him. So, oh, not for me. I don't know how Sam copes with you like that.
I think she just deals with it. Like I don't even know. I don't ask. I'm just like this. I'm doing this. Like whatever. I think she just knows to let me go.
Was she not like, why are you back so late? Like, or was she expecting you to come back that late?
No, she's expect. Like I said, I'll be gone for a while. So
Oh.
I plan.
I'd
Like
be
I
like,
ran. I ran
I'd just
50
be
k.
trying to work out if you want dinner. Sorry. I was just like,
I ran 50 k's that night. So like I was going to be gone for a while.
right. Oh, just, yeah. Anyway, different breed of person you are.
I don't know. Just like I had work to do. Like I had to go run.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't get me wrong. I get why you did it. I just, yeah, gosh, I can't imagine. But it's as well, like, I don't know, as a female, I don't feel like I could do that either just because I'd be too scared, like something was
Do,
out there.
do you know? Like I'd feel way more confident in the bush than I would in the city. Like if you're like, hey
Yeah.
Matt, do you want to go run around Centennial Park at 2 a.m? I'm like, get fucked. Like that would terrify me. Be like, hey, do you want to go and run in the middle of nowhere of wild animals? I'd be like, absolutely, no
Yeah.
issues.
Can confirm running around Centennial at like very early hours of the morning is not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Any last minute tips for everyone who might be going into Kosci or going into a race this week?
If you are racing this week, just relax. Don't overthink it. There's nothing you can do. Like, just get organized early. Like, I packed, this is actually because we're leaving tomorrow, Tuesday. We packed on Sunday, made sure we had everything, had a list of everything we need, got all the mandatory gear signed off early. So, if there's a place in Newcastle where we could go and get it signed off and approved. So, did all that. So, everything's just ticked off, ready to go. All I got to do is put my shit in the car and drive down. So all of our food's packed. We know what we need to get, like in terms of fresh food from Cooma. Like we know we're not going to shop in Jindabyne because it's such a small town. There's going to be an extra 4,000 people there. So yeah, just like get as organized as you can. And then don't overthink it. Don't like pack and unpack and do all this shit. Just pack, make a list, double check it, and then put it all away and then just relax. That's all you can do.
I love the don't shop in Jindy because that woolies there will be stripped of every carb known to man.
100%. So like we bought all of our carbs yesterday up here, and then we'll just go into like Cooma and grab some fresh fruit and things like that on the way down. But everything, like we're not even going to try and shop in Jindabyne. It's just going to be a wasted experience.
What are 5 carbs that you bought at the supermarket yesterday?
I wouldn't even have 5. I'm very,
Oh, really?
very, yeah.
Or what did you buy then?
Very, since, this might be interesting for people. It's something I'm experimenting with is like, since during Ironman prep, we eat so much processed shit because of just the amount of calories we need. When I come out of Ironman prep, I've been working with Lauren to do, really try and like clean up to a whole food diet or as whole food as I can while doing endurance sports. Obviously there's some exceptions.
Yeah.
But like outside of training, all I eat in terms of carbs is sourdough and wild rice and potato.
Okay. And then are you just taking gels on course? I know you were saying that you're going to have cup of noodles. What have you bought for course?
Snakes and maple gels.
Mm-hmm.
I find that no matter how full or sick I am, like sick of eating, I can eat those so I can continue taking calories. I've got the Oak Plus, so like the 30 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs to have at aid stations, noodle cups, salt and vinegar chips, and then full sugar Coke, full sugar Sprite. They're my options.
I love it. Yeah, full sugar. There's no point having the no sugar ones.
Yeah, trust me, those drinks are not there for taste or not there for because they're delicious. They're there for a strict purpose. That is to get as many carbs in my body without making me sick as possible. So, yeah.
Oh, the Coke and the salt and vinegar chips just hits different. It's so good.
Oh, and
So-
I got some white monsters as well. That's the big guns for when the sun goes down.
That's the best.
Got to call in the big guns for that one.
Okay, amazing. Well, that's super helpful. I'm excited to see how you go, and good luck from myself, and I'm sure everyone at TPP as well as everyone on the podcast. It's so exciting. Nice.
Top 10 age group finish. That's the goal.
Yeah, can't wait to see how you go. I'm sure you'll do amazing. Top 10 age group finish, I'm sure.
That's the plan.
I believe in you. I believe in you. All right, let's crack into some listener questions. I've actually got a couple of really long ones this time. I've saved them for this kind of episode. I just felt like it needed some context. So I've got quite a few here that are a little bit longer. They've got a bit more context to them. So hopefully we can crack into them. First question here is from Julia. Hey, Coach Matt and Georgia. I've picked up the new to running program. Getting used to the zone 2 runs. With the zone 1 warm-up and cool-downs, should I be aiming to jog those as well? I found that I needed to walk way more during the zone 1 sections to keep the heart rate in the range.
I think a lot of coaches would program zone 1 just as a reminder to keep things easy rather than necessarily stick to it as like the gospel.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to convey that in a training program when you're not working with people, but it's more of a reminder to start easy, finish easy. Don't run zone 2 from the opening minute to the closing minute.
Yeah. And so could that be a walk if they need it to be, or should they be jogging?
Just super slow jog into a zone 2 jog. Like you could walk a little bit, like maybe spend 2 or 3 minutes walking, building that walk up, going into a jog, especially if you're a newer runner, like you're doing new to running.
Yeah.
And then the more experienced you are, you can sort of dictate what warm up and cool down pace is.
Okay, cool. This actually flows into this next question.
Mm-hmm.
Josh has said, I've tried heart rate running for 3 months, and honestly, I feel like I'm walking in expensive shoes. Fair. Everyone says trust the process, but I'm losing my patience and my confidence. When is heart rate training actually worth it, and how do you know if you're the type of runner that it actually works for?
It works for every runner 100% of the time, bar none. There is no exception. Your heart rate is not different. Your heart does not work differently. You do not process oxygen or blood differently to any other human being on the planet, assuming you are a human being. If you are an extraterrestrial, then that answer might change.
Damn, caught him out.
Yeah, legit. It's actually fun. The last 2 weeks, I reckon, I don't know how many TPP athletes, new athletes that we've onboarded have said, maybe I'm the outlier for heart rate training. I'm like, I wish I have screenshotted every time I've got that message from every athlete over like the year we've had. And then like I could send it to people. I could share the album, be like, look at all these people, including Georgia.
Me right at the start being like, it doesn't work for me. I just can't do it.
Yeah, legit. Every single athlete ever. If it's been 3 months and you're seeing no progress, I would argue that potentially your heart rate zones are not set up correctly, or you're not being super diligent / consistent with it. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you are. 3 months is a long time to see no progress. And honestly, if it's being done right, I would expect to see some form of progress in the opening 4 weeks, and then like by 12 weeks it should feel like a pretty context. Most of my athletes say after 8 to 10 weeks that their zone 2 run becomes their favorite run of the week. So if you haven't seen anything after 12 weeks, that just makes me think your zones aren't set up properly.
Yeah, and can you just quickly remind everyone how they can set up their zones, because I feel like this is a question we always get.
Yeah, so it depends on what platform you use to monitor it, but the easiest way is 35-minute all-out, or 5-minute warm-up, 30-minute all-out test, all-out 5K, or all-out just 30 minutes. Take your take those stats. So you'll need average heart rate, max heart rate, average pace for that 30 minutes. And just type in like threshold pace calculator, heart rate zone calculator into Google. There's a whole bunch there. Put those numbers in and it'll spit them out. And then you can update your Garmin.
Cool. That's super helpful. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even remember how we do that stuff because you always do it for me.
Yeah, I was saying you have no reason to know how to do it.
That's so bad of me. I haven't gotten lazy, but I'm like, yeah, Matt'll do it.
Well, but it's not your job to do it. It's
No.
my job to do it. Yeah.
That's the point of a coach is they do that stuff for you. But yeah, I think once you set your heart rate zones, maybe then do some testing. But for me, it was 12 weeks before I really saw a big change in things like pace and heart rate. I do remember that quite clearly.
I would also like just ask a follow-up question in terms of what you deem as progress. Because
That's true.
if you think you're going to go from, I'll just use arbitrary numbers. If you think you're going to go from 6-minute pace to 4-minute pace in 12 weeks, like that's not progress. That's unrealistic. If you think you could go from 6-minute pace to 5:50 pace, like that seems like way more realistic for like a 12-week block. So, and obviously there'd be some heart rate differentiation in there as well. But that would be my follow-up question to if your zones are set up correctly, like what do you deem as progress?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something important to look at because even for me, like 18 months of zone 2 training, I think my pace went from a 7:30, almost 8-minute pace down to, on a good day, like a 6:50. Maybe of a 6:30 if I was really focusing on it. So, I mean, the numbers don't have to be massive. They can also just be smaller numbers and small things are wins as well. So, definitely keep track of that.
Third follow-up question would be, no, I'm thinking about it more and more, is
I love it.
is total training volume / training time in your zones. So if you are running, we'll just use 100 kilometers a week as like an easy number for math. Is 80 kilometers of your running week or 80% of your running week done at zone 2? Is it done aerobically? Are you being super strict with that period of time? Or are you doing 20% of your running or 30% of your running? And of that 30%, how much of it is true zone 2? Like, is it 25% zone 2 and the last 5% you kind of drift off into zone 3 and 4? Or is it 25% super strict? Like, that'd be all questions I ask and evaluate before deciding whether whether the training zones are correct or not.
Okay. Thank you. That's super helpful. I have another very specific question here from our listener, Jeff. It says, G'day, Georgia and Matt. My question is, I've been running for 14 years. I finished at Sydney this year with 3 hours and 24 minutes at 61 years of age. Amazing. What a time.
Yeah, dude.
I know, so cool. My coach has me running easy runs at least 1 minute slower than my marathon pace, but I'm finding this becomes zone 1 rather than zone 2. I also use a heart rate chest strap. So the question is, should I run faster in my slow runs so that I am in zone 2, thereby leading to a faster marathon pace, hopefully? Or do I stay in zone 1 for the benefits of building strength and muscle endurance? There's another part to this question, but I want to hear your first part first.
Okay, so that's a really good question. I like when people give me like all the information.
Yeah, I thought you'd like this one. It literally popped up in our inbox this afternoon. And I was like, I need to put this in.
Yeah, so a few different things to consider. When athletes get older, so we're saying like say north of 50, 55, especially in men, heart rate decreases pretty significantly, like in terms of like your training zones. Like zone 1 can start at like 90 beats per minute. So I would make sure training zones are set up correctly. Number 2, general rule of thumb for experienced runners, which you are, Jeff, is 60 to 90 seconds slower than race pace is like a pretty good indicator for your easy running pace. So I was going to say I nearly wouldn't worry about heart rate, but still worry about heart rate. The other thing to consider, just circling back to my first point, is as you get older, your ability to hold zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5 just naturally decreases. Like your heart just isn't as strong at those upper ends. So like younger men, full of testosterone, easy to grow muscle, things like that, they have a very strong zone 3, 4, 5 naturally. As we age, that flips. Zone 1 and 2 gets significantly stronger because as you age, you have less and less need for zones 3, 4, and 5. If we think about it from like evolutionary standpoint, zones 3, 4, and 5 really important in terms of like guys who would go out and go hunting, guys who would have to fight, guys who would have to protect the tribe, things of that nature. As men age and go out of it, they don't need that upper end. So that's why we see that switch. I would really encourage you to strengthen that zone 1 and zone 2 as much as possible, even if it is lower zone 2, because I think you'll find when you run your marathon, you're probably not in true zone 3 where we'd normally sit, where say I would sit or Georgia would sit or Georgia's husband Nick would sit, for example, athletes in their 30s, even in their 20s. I think you'd find you'll sit probably low zone 2 to mid zone 2 during your marathon. That's probably where you could sit for the majority of it. And then you would drift into zone 3 towards the end of that marathon. Whereas, say, I would drift into zone 4, maybe even zone 5. So I think what your coach doing currently sounds pretty on point with given the information that you've given me, that strengthening your zone 1, very, very important. And you'd actually find your race pace or race zone is closer to mid zone 2 rather than a true zone 3 tempo sort of zone.
It's actually so interesting because you fully just answered the second part of this question, but I'm going to repeat what he said anyway. So Jeff has also asked, I also find when doing lactate threshold 400s or 800s, my heart rate still tends to go into zone 3 and barely reaches zone 4, even though the pace is at 3 minutes 50 per kilometer.
Yeah, so like, again, just like as you age, your body's ability to, and this is actually a prime example of how zone 1, zone 2 work. So Jeff's able to run 350 per kilometer and just by you saying that, Jeff, you need to redo your zones, dude. Like VO2 is VO2 regardless. But he's able to run 350 per kilometer sort of at a relatively low heart rate. And that's because over time, over all of his years of running, he's developed that zone 1, zone 2 base. And he's able to run at that top end speed, barely getting into that. Where for me to run 350s, I'm at the top of my zone 4. That's like my top threshold pace. So, yeah, I know I kind of answered it, but also it's like a great example of like true zone 1, zone 2 training and how that pays off over, how long did you say he's been running? 13 years?
14, yeah.
14 years. So yeah, a decade and a half of work and like that's results. So yeah, awesome work, Jeff. Great question too.
I know, such a great question, Jeff. And this is such a great example of consistency and time and things like that. And so when people get frustrated that they're not making progress and stuff like that, you need to either look back at how far you've come or just remember that some of the best marathon runners are in that older age bracket. Now, I do just want to say we're not saying you are old. I know that can be a little bit triggering for some people that, people mention certain ages are quote unquote older. It's just in terms of this question and where it sits with people we train.
We're talking relevant to athletic performance too.
Yeah.
Like men in endurance sport, our athletic peak is 35 to 42 in endurance sports. It's a little bit younger for like more dynamic sports like football or basketball. For women, it's sort of like 33 to 37, 38. It's a couple of years younger. And their prime for more dynamic sports is sort of that 27 through to 30, 31, 32. So whenever we reference age, we're 9 times out of 10 referencing it in terms of athletic performance.
Yeah, we did have someone recently message us because I think it probably was me, to be honest. I can't actually remember. We were saying, someone who was older and we mentioned an age. I just want to say like...
it was me. Yeah, it was because Cameron Haynes, he's like in his 50s and he's consistently getting better and better at endurance sport. But that was also in reference to him being like, he's a 20 or 30 time marathon runner and he is still getting better. Like it is hard to continue to get better, especially when you're running in the mid 2s, and you're well and truly out of your athletic prime. That is just, again, a nod to consistency, because I would argue it's easier to get better in your athletic prime with less work than when you're out of your prime. Like the amount of work you have to do to get better when you're outside of your prime is just astronomically higher. So it's never a knock. It's normally just in terms of athletic performance.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Jeff, because I just think that's such a cool little question with lots of stats and stuff in there. So I thought Matt would like that one.
Yeah, man, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So this one's from Siobhan. Hey, Matt and Georgia. I'm training for my first half marathon in March. I've accidentally booked a girls' weekend in Bali right in the middle of my peak week. Do I try to squeeze in the long run in the tropical heat or accept that cocktails and chaos of the girls' trip might derail my program for a few days? How much damage can one peak week holiday actually do? This is a very valid question because I have friends. Yeah, I have friends who have booked holidays like a couple of weeks before a marathon and they actually went to Bali and they were having to do all of their runs over in Bali. Or, I mean, think of me. Maybe not my peak week, but one of my very high weeks for London Marathon was overseas. I just had to decide that marathon was not going to be time-based or anything. So I made that decision a long time before I left. How much is this going to affect Siobhan when she is having the biggest week when she's overseas? Should she be doing her peak week prior to her holiday or trying to get it done when she's over there?
I would, my first question would be like, how important is the goal to you and what is the goal? Is the goal finishing? Is the goal time-based? Is the goal, like, what is the goal? And then based on her answer would be how I answer it. Because if it is just like, I just want to go out and finish it and not feel awful, then I'll be like, it probably doesn't matter that much and you probably don't really have a peak week of training. Like, that's just using lingo. If she was like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get this time and it's the most important thing on my calendar, I'd be like, probably pretty stupid to book a trip to Bali and you probably fucked your race. And this is where Georgia and I will be oil and water for sure, because I'm pretty like, if an athlete comes to me and be like, hey, this is my race, I want to go all in, I want you to coach me, do all the things, and and this is a selfish point, but I work my ass for it, and then they come to me like, hey, peak week, I'm going to be in Bali, I'm going to be like, what the fuck did we just do all that work for? Like, I will get properly annoyed and like upset with an athlete about that and be like, and I guess this is like this is different if you have a coach, but like that's a respect thing. In terms of like, it just depends on where it sits on your scale of importance. Like, I'm guessing if you've booked this other holiday, it's not like your whole life hasn't revolved around this race. So I'd be like, just get some training in. Like, it's not going to massively affect your performance, like alcohol and lack of sleep and all that, and eating probably a shitload of food is probably going to do more damage than not training. So it probably doesn't make that much difference.
I would say she's leaning more towards it's not the most important race on the calendar, but it's still important enough that she still wants to finish with a decent time kind of thing. And so it's kind of like, do I still try and get on my runs in or do I not do anything and like push it to the week prior? I also totally understand where you're coming from, where if someone, say for myself with my sub 4, if I was to come to you and say, hey, by the way, I've booked this trip, 100%, that's a comes down to respect thing. I would never do that to you, but that has also come from experience as well. Like, I know now that would not be something I would do. So yeah, just interesting to see the different sides of the story.
Yeah. If you're looking for just like straight practical advice, if you want to achieve a certain level of performance, I would train as much as I could in Bali and try and keep as much of a routine as possible, even if that means shortening some of those runs, trying not to run too hungover and trying to get as much sleep as possible, just so like at least your body is getting some form of recovery. And then as soon as you're back in Australia, like getting back into as much routine as possible. That would be like my straight practical advice, regardless of sort of what you want to achieve from it.
Cool. I have a question here from Marcus. I know there's quite a few questions here today, guys, but they were all just super interesting. I thought you'd like them. So Marcus has asked, I've trained perfectly for my half marathon coming up. I think he mentioned to me he had like a month to go, but every long run breakfast I try either gives me cramps, stitches, or it just feels super wrong. Race day is coming and I still don't have a reliable fuel plan. How do I figure this out without blowing up my stomach or the race that I've trained so hard for?
Is he trying the same breakfast every long run morning, or is he trying different breakfasts?
different breakfasts because one, like he did one and then it made him feel really sick. So he tried something else, made him like get cramps. He's been trying to test them.
I would ask like how long before you're running are you eating?
Okay.
Like if you're eating, I mean, not I'm probably an outlier in this, but I could literally like be running with a bowl of cereal and be fine. Um,
Got a visual of that.
yeah, just like straight down the street, bowl
Yeah.
of Wheat Bix, no worries. But some people like Sam, for example, she needs to eat a good 30 to 45 minutes minimum before she runs. Otherwise, she'll feel crook.
Yeah.
So that would be my first question. The second question would be volume of food. Like, are you eating really dense like bagels or crumpets or like something like that? And maybe it's just like the volume of food is too much. And then like, cool, like maybe we'd need to switch to liquid carbs or like lighter carbs like bananas, honey, orange juice, things like that. They would be like my first two straight away immediate red flags. Like, are you giving your body enough time to digest it? And if you are and it's still an issue, like, can we switch to something lighter?
Yeah. That's like, I'm like you. I can just eat straight away pretty much. Like I could shove a muesli bar in and just run out the door at the same time. Does not bother me. Same with like any kind of caffeine before a
Yep.
race or a run or whatever. Like that stuff doesn't bother me at all. I've got a pretty good stomach. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what he's exactly tried. And if I had a list
Yeah.
of everything he's tried, we could be like, well, that's why, because maybe there's a common denominator in those things. Like
That would be another good one, Georgia. Is like, is there a common product, ingredient, brand that is overlaying everything?
yeah, like maybe he's putting honey with everything,
Yeah.
not realizing like honey on a bagel, honey on Wheat Bix, honey on a crusket, like whatever, maybe, or a spoonful of honey. Maybe that's what's like making the stomach feel a bit yuck. Yeah, I don't really have any other besides I don't know, could he try liquids? Is that just going to make him more upset?
No, like that's what I say, like try something lighter. So if let's just say he's having bagels or toast or whatever, like say more dense products, I'd be like, cool, like can we go to banana, honey, and a big glass of OJ? Like, is that an option? And just try like something super light or like Powerade. I know it's like super sugary. First thing in the morning might not be the most pleasant thing to drink, but it's carbs and it's salt and it's everything that you need. So like there would be a few different things, even like something like a yogurt and honey, like if you're okay with dairy, and you could put banana in that. So they would be like like I said, my first sort of protocols is time, volume, and common ingredients, common products, if there's anything overlapping.
Okay, cool. I actually just want to share a really good little recipe that Nick and I have been using lately for like pre-run, pre-training. Any time of day we have this. And it actually comes from a guy, if you guys want to find him, I'm going to absolutely butcher his surname, but we actually follow him on the Beyond the Finish Line podcast, so you can check him out. He's a nutritionist and his name is Josh Battistella. Anyway, sorry, Josh. But he basically has this recipe for, and it might not be his, but it's rice bubbles, but you can just buy like home brand ones, and coconut oil and honey. And so I do like a couple of big scoops of rice bubbles, and then in the microwave, I melt a massive tablespoon of coconut oil and a massive tablespoon of honey. And then I mix it all together and put it in like a baking dish and put it straight in the fridge. And it kind of makes like an LCM bar, but it's a little bit healthier than an actual LCM bar. It's a bit more whole food ingredients. And I just cut them up into little bars and just shove it in as I'm heading out the door. And honestly, that has been such a game changer because it's the honey, so it's got lots of carbs. Rice bubbles is carbs. I don't know about the coconut oil, whether that's carbs. Fats, there you go. And it's been super helpful. So I don't know, maybe Marcus can use that as a starting thing. It might be a bit lighter because it does feel a lot lighter in your stomach before you head out. That's a good one. But yeah, I'll try and share it on our stories if I remember. But he's an awesome guy, so that's a good one to share. I do have one more. Do we have time, Matt?
Yeah, go for it. One more.
Mia has asked, I'm 5 days out from my marathon and I'm spiraling. I swear every tiny niggle, every phantom cough, every random ache feels like an absolute disaster. I'm sleeping really bad and I'm convinced that I've lost all of my fitness overnight. How do you stop your brain from self-sabotaging during race week? I've been there.
Yeah. A lot of it is like psychosomatic. So like your brain is trying to, your brain understands what you're about to go through, and it's trying to protect you from doing it. Like our brain is designed to keep you at homeostasis. It's designed to keep everything safe and even. It does not want you doing extreme things. It doesn't want you doing extreme things on the dangerous side, extreme things on the safe side. It wants you straight in the middle. So if there's something it can do to fuck with your head, it will, and be like, hey, like, don't do this race. Like, your knee hurts or you're getting sick or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's just in your head. Again, it's like what we said at the start. Like, everyone goes through this. Like, I went for a run just before the podcast. I was like, you know what, my knee kind of hurts. Or like, I feel a little bit stiff. I was like, no, like, I'm fine. Like, I've sat around all day. I'm fine. There's fucking nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just deep breath. Everything's okay. Like, if it's a genuine injury or genuine sickness, you will be able to feel the difference. Trust me. You will know if it is an injury or a niggle in your knee versus just something phantom. Same with a cough. Same with whatever. Don't look at your Whoop or your Garmin recovery score. None of that shit matters. It's going to be in the red. It's going to say you're dying. It's going to say everything's wrong. Just
so true.
You're fine. Everything is fine. Just get as much sleep as you can. Eat as much food as you can. Make sure you're hydrated. Stay mobile. Don't just sit around all day. Like, make sure you do shakeout runs and then go enjoy the day.
Yeah, great advice there, Matt. Thank you so, so much. This has been episode 45 of Beyond the Finish Line. Thank you so, so much for listening. Make sure you head over to Instagram and follow us at beyondthefinishline_pod. Head over to wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you like, subscribe, download, leave us a review and share us with your mates. Thank you again for listening and have a wonderful week.
Hooroo.
Bye.